Alright, wonderful dickheads, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap, right? What is artwod? They're the best learning how to draw from imagination platform in the world. Who am I? I can draw like this thus far, right? I've been drawing for 3 years and 4 months, roughly. And, what else? What else is my bullshit for the intro? Oh yeah, I'm not affiliated with artwod, I'm just a huge dick writer. If you want to draw, if this level of skill looks impressive, I don't know what the fuck am I trying to say, bro. This intro is so bullshit. Just fucking draw along. Get your pen, get your paper, draw along. Right? I am so tired of this whole YouTube. And hello, welcome back. I slurp on my pee. And like, no, we're just gonna draw. Get your fucking pen, get your pencil, or fuck off my channel. Watch every video, like, subscribe. Same shit as always. Anyways, with that wonderful slurping noise out of the way, because I'm drinking my coffee. Yeah, we're looking at a portrait reference on the left. I'm gonna put a box over it, put a sphere inside that box, perfect sphere, and the center lines inside the sphere inside the box. That is essentially I'm trying to hold 3 layers of perspective being projected and visualized onto the page. I don't know why, but I just can't do my fucking intro today or anything today. It's brain is hurting. Very tired for some reason, even though I was completely fine 10 seconds ago. Is this the life of a YouTuber? But yeah, get your shit out. Anyways, I don't really give a fuck. Anyway, this is all foundational videos. Anyways, nobody's watching this. But anyways, let me just. I'm already drawing in my mind, so let me. I guess do commentary or something like that. Yes, line, box. I don't know what the fuck happened. Usually I'm way more into this, but right now I'm just. I have nothing to say. Just fucking draw along. Get off your fucking ass. Draw along. If I can do it, you can do it. If you want to do something like this, if this looks relatively impressive, or like, oh wow, I'd love to have that skill, put the fucking work in. All right, everybody would love to have some level of skill. It doesn't mean that they're gonna get it, right? You can only get it by expending effort, which you are capable of, constant effort, which you are also capable of, right? And having a positive growth-oriented mindset within that effort, which you're also capable of. So you'll notice a trend that you're capable of everything I just mentioned, right? So get off your ass and show yourself that you're capable as well. But anyways, let me try to analyze this guy's face. So definitely way more of the side plane is being shown than I did here, but not so much that it's like this, right? And his face is at an angle, and okay, so let me try. Yeah, and it's way more subtle. The top plane is still very subtle, very subtle. So this is very difficult, obviously. Like trying to, it's basically I'm looking at the portrait, I'm projecting the box, the spheres, the center lines inside of it, and then it's like I'm trying to hold it and then bring it over, right? And then not look at the portrait reference and draw it again, which is extremely difficult. Oof, I love that this pen is a lot more ink flow is occurring, right? Like it's actually being absorbed because this showcases my weaknesses, which is every single one of which is just everything I do. It's all weaknesses, right? But look at how, oof, look at that. The line skipping, no consistent pen pressure. Oh yeah, I'm nutting. Anyways, let's see. I think this box is a bit too small for the range that I'm trying to encompass in my mind. And this is even more subtle, right? So I need to expand this outward a little bit. And you can see, like, my hand does not want to draw in these uncomfortable angles, but it doesn't fucking matter what my hand wants, because I will simply will through it to the best of my ability. And let's see, like, I'm trying to visualize a sphere inside of this. It's extremely fucking difficult to do so, by the way. Like, genuinely extremely difficult to will, or not even just like to impose. You're trying to impose something that doesn't exist onto the page, right? That is the process of attempting to build the skill of visualization, is you're imposing a false reality inside your mind, trying to retain it onto the page, trying to retain it, a mix, whatever. Everybody visualizes differently, right? And don't bring up aphantasia, because there's no fucking point even trying to bring that up unless you've spent 800 hours trying to actually genuinely grind your brain and improve your visualization minimum. I don't think anybody, including myself, has the right to say that they can't visualize or they don't have the ability, right? So there are people out there, what's it called, hyper? No, not hyperphagia. What the fuck? There's a subreddit out there for the complete opposite where people can imagine incredibly well, right? I forgot what the term is. Somebody in the comments at one point in the lifetime of the channel will probably say what it is, or I'll probably just Google it afterwards. Hyperphantasia, hyperphagia, some shit like that. And while I'm talking, and by the way, like while talking and drawing is an extremely difficult skill as well. And my main skill that I'm trying to focus on right now is having a perfect sphere encapsulated, right? So that's the other thing, is being able to create a box that the perfect sphere is inside, right? And that's also extremely difficult, genuinely extremely difficult. And of course, when I draw a box this large, I will also make a lot of divergence mistakes. And oof, look at these lines. Look how shit these lines are. This is a bit better, I think. This is actually a decent amount more accurate. And dude, it's so hard to already hold the sphere. Like, this is just one of those things. Like, it's constant effort, right? This skill I'm trying to build, this visualization skill, is probably one of the hardest visualization skills I've had to build, like when it comes to spatial reasoning, which is holding 3 layers of perspective. I've never, or not never, I mean, yeah, technically I have never done something like this before, in the sense of like what I'm trying to achieve, but I've never felt this much of an intense struggle, which is good. That's exactly what we want, by the way. Like, we want to feel genuine discomfort and what is it? Yeah, we want to feel genuine cognitive discomfort. And again, like, I can barely see that perfect sphere because it's a skill, right? When the angles were more subtle in terms of the tilt of the box, it was easier. Now that the tilt is a bit more extreme, immediately just that variance in tilt, and the increase in of itself is now highlighting the gap in skill, because it's a skill to increase the tilt of the box while retaining a perfect sphere inside the box, while also thinking about the center lines, which I haven't been able to do at all. But when the box tilt and the box positions were much more simple, right, I was able to, right? So it's anything that this is the biggest thing I always try to like reinforce to myself and to maybe anybody listening or drawing along, is that anything you struggle with, literally anything, right? Ooh, I drew this line differently. Oh, like, look at this line. This line was shit. And it's thicker, right? Compared to, I guess, like, maybe something I did down here, right? Even though they're all pretty ass. But, like, this is all skills, right? You know, my pen, the pen absorbing ink, or, yeah, the pen ink being absorbed into the paper properly, is showcasing that I don't actually have good pressure sensitivity skills, right? When it comes to my line control, you know? So that's another thing to note, right? Like, when the ink is being absorbed properly, I clearly cannot create consistent line work, right? It is a skill. So yeah, so anything you struggle with in spatial reasoning and line work and drawing and whatever you're on, whether it's proportion, values, composition, like anything that's just, you're like, damn, I can't do it like this when I push it a little bit more, or I change things, or things are altered, or I use my hand in a different way, or angle, anything that changes, that highlights that it's now difficult, is the skill gap, right? Like, okay, when the box is tilted, it is now fucking 5 times harder to visualize a sphere inside of that box, right? And now, like, when the ink is being absorbed onto the paper properly, it is now highlighting that, oh, okay, I don't actually have the ability, the clear, concise ability to create clean lines that have even pen pressure and don't skip, and my fingers aren't shaky, right? It's all skills. It's all skills. Like, all the way fucking down, it's all skills. Or all the way up. I don't know which one it is. But yeah, this skill specifically of trying to visualize 3 layers of perspective is fucking my brain in a good way. But, you know, like, even if I consent, that doesn't mean that it's always fun. Come on. But let's see. Okay, see, like, I'm not really I don't really give a shit too much about the nose or the features that I'm drawing, but this is mainly for proportion. And again, like, the second I start drawing these features, by the way, immediately lose everything. Immediately lose all the layers of visualization. So again, skill issue, right? I cannot yet, you know, because that's an important word to utilize, I cannot yet focus on the minutia, fancy word, the minutiae, because it's spelled like that for some reason, but I can't focus on the small details without losing the big picture yet. But I'm trying, like, I'm really genuinely trying so fucking hard right now, you know, and it's extremely fucking difficult, right? And that's actually the most important part, that it's extremely difficult. right? Because, and again, like I'm technically constantly having to practice refocusing my focus as well. My focus needs more focus because like I keep looking back at the portrait reference to also make sure that things are relatively accurate, right? Even though this eyebrow is all sorts of fucked, but that's part of it as well. And also, you know, making sure that things are proportionally correct as well. And that is not the accurate eyebrow that it should be, but it's okay. We're just gonna have to deal with it, right? And I'm consistently losing the perspective, but it's like you just have to keep putting in that sheer effort, right? And in the day-to-day, the week-to-week, it will not look like much. It genuinely will not. And that's good, right? Because it's gonna teach you patience, you know? It's gonna teach you that you won't get things immediately. And I think people, especially nowadays, in an age where we get information, especially entertainment content, immediately in our fingertips, right? And again, while I'm coming up with these random topics to talk about, I am thinking, which is fucking difficult. I'm trying to hold a line of thought fully involved with extremely difficult spatial reasoning, and I'm trying to also, on top of that, project a line of thought, i.e. via speech, i.e. what I'm actually saying right now, that is running completely separate, but in tandem with the spatial reasoning line of thought, right? Which is why most people, when they draw, they can't speak, you know? But I'm here to prove that it's all a skill issue. Every single bit of it, right? Everything is a fucking skill issue. I think art, if anything, is like the number one skill that proves everything is a skill issue. Obviously, I'm biased as fuck because I'm literally doing it. So, you know, you take it as a grain of salt. Actually, no, you shouldn't take it as a grain of salt, right? Because it still has merit in the sense that it's a skill that's difficult. Take it with a grain of salt when I say it's like the number one skill, obviously. Because I don't know every fucking skill in the world. Like, I'm not aware of every skill that's difficult, or, you know, I'm only exposed to the ones that I'm interested in. And I consider art to be an infinite skill. Yeah, the lips are pretty shit. But this is definitely a much better box. I think this is definitely where I'm going to keep it, in terms of, like, proportion and what I've got. The eyes are way too fucking big, but I kind of did that intentionally just because I wanted to get the features down. And by the way, when I'm talking about the center lines, like, inside the sphere, this is... I guess I should clarify what I'm literally trying to visualize, because I've said this in multiple videos over the last, like, 50 plus hours, but it's always a good reminder to myself, and it's always good to inform those who are curious. Right? So obviously this is not, like, exactly in the perspective of what I've already drawn, but this is what I'm trying to visualize, right? I've already drawn the box, but even before I did this, I was visualizing the box. So we're trying to visualize the box, and when I transfer this over, this is literally hardcore what I have to visualize on this scale and maintaining the proportion, right? And also drawing shapes over it. All fucking, like, already trying to visualize what I'm about to show you is extremely difficult at this scale, and then trying to wrap shapes around it and also make sure that those shapes are well designed, have function, you know, like big, medium, small, they all have a nice ratio, the shapes themselves look interesting. That's a whole nother thing. And my brain, if we're gonna use computer terms, doesn't have the RAM for that. All my fucking memory is being allocated, my effort is being allocated towards maintaining this visualization. So it's actually a fucking miracle that I'm even able to do something like this, considering how difficult it is, right? And while I'm drawing this, I'm still trying to keep that perfect sphere in mind. Right now, I even struggle with just having a perfect sphere visualized, or a perfect circle. So skills all the way up, as always, but basically this is what I'm visualizing. I'm trying to visualize this, and then I'm visualizing a perfect sphere, right? And then center lines, right? And the center line is being calculated by this plane and this plane. Bless me. As in, I put an ellipse inside each plane, right? I put an ellipse that follows that plane, and then we project it, right? We project that contour, that curve out to the middle, right? So I also have to visualize this center line to a degree. And then it's like, okay, that's what I'm also trying to visualize, like, right? The other side, same thing here, other side. And this one's like super subtle, so you'd barely see anything. That's what I'm trying to hold. I'm trying to hold the box, the sphere, and the center lines inside the box and sphere. I'm trying to consistently maintain those 3 layers of perspective being projected onto the page in my mind, calculated however I can, constantly losing them at all times. But the goal is to have it fused. And this will most definitely, I mean, my projection is it'll take at least like 2 years minimum, right? From now, by the way, not from when I started, which was already 3 months ago, but from now, right? But then again, with skill learning, when you put so much effort in, it usually happens slower than we expect and then faster than we can imagine, right? So it's obviously going to compound. There's going to be a point. Like, I like having these long estimates because it helps. I don't know why I said it helps like that, right? It helps too, but because it helps me just focus on the now, right? I like using extreme. Apart from just the benefits of long-term thinking, I like long-term thinking because I'm like, oh, it's gonna take fucking years and years and years and years. Okay, back to focusing on what I'm doing now, because now I don't have to worry or rush or be in my head about like how long will this take. The answer is fucking forever. Get back to it. Like, focus on the now. But anyways, I'm going to rest my brain, and then again, main thing is really like the goal is like the metric we're going to use for quote unquote success or improvement is just how much longer am I able to hold these 3 layers of perspective being projected, right? Like, that's the main metric right now. Like, whether I'm wrapping shapes or trying to design something, like how long am I able to hold it? And right now, really, like, holding all 3 of them at the same time is probably like a few seconds, right? The goal is forever, right? But again, who knows how long that'll take. But let's just let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. I'm pretty sure I was talking about something earlier, but I completely forgot, right? But the reason I even explained that is to really highlight to probably the people in the future that are listening, right? That are like, how do you get this good? Because it's a fucking matter of fact, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be drawing shit that'll make you done. I'll probably have fucking semen all over my page while I draw, but you know, who knows how YouTube's the what is it? The parental guidance or whatever will be like that back from then. You know, will the world be more open to jism on paper or less? We'll have to see. But right now, I'm already struggling there to hold this visualization. So clearly, yeah, it seems like 2 seconds max is when I can hold the entire thing. But I'm gonna keep trying to hold it. Just keep trying to hold it. Keep trying to hold it. Right? Yeah. Just keep fucking trying to hold it. And that's all I can do right now, but let's see. Okay. See, because then like this is I love this. This is the extremely difficult part. The second I start calculating, right, or just even thinking about how to put a shape on top of it, just vanishes. Just completely vanishes. Those 3 layers of perspective, everything vanishes. So it's like, okay, bring it back now, right? It feels good, so bring it back. It's like, okay, here's my perfect sphere. Here's how the box is inside that sphere, right? Here's how everything's aligned. Here's the center line, right? Vertical, horizontal, right? Okay, kind of got it now, right? Really fucking trying to ground my brain to see it properly and to kind of calculate it in my mind, see it on the page, whatever. And then again, the second I start to, and this is why like it's so easy when I'm on Pinterest and I'm looking at the hard surface boards that I'm creating or like that's being recommended to me based on my boards, right? The helmet designs, all that shit. When I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it's quite, yeah, it's all machinery. These are the shapes. This is how they're intersecting. This is how they're adding on each other. Oh, of course. Wait, I think I'm gonna utilize that sort of connection next time. No, no. Once you're in it, all that shit goes out the fucking window. You think my mind currently is capable of holding 3 layers of projection? Yes, yeah, I need to make a point. Do you think my mind is capable of holding 3 layers of projection while talking, while trying to design on top of those 3 layers of projection, and also make sure the ideation for those designs is referencing things that are roughly in my catalog, in my brain, right? Like, in terms of like, oh yes, vague ideas. No fucking way. Okay? Not to say I can't do it, I can't try. This isn't like a limiting belief. It's just objectively like, I'm trying to say that's how much effort it takes just to maintain the visualization while I'm fucking talking. While I'm talking, I'm trying to goddamn see 3 layers of perspective. And also put shapes on top of it. Like, I think the only way to explain how difficult, or even to ground how difficult that is to encourage anybody listening to just try it. Try holding just 2 layers of perspective projected. Try holding a box and a sphere inside the box, and then try drawing shapes on top of that sphere specifically, while retaining the perspective of the box. Right? And ensure that it looks even like it's gonna be, it feels odd to say, but quote unquote half as good as this, right? Not to say that's good, but I do understand that, you know, like I'm building skills, right? They're getting slightly better over time, right? But that's the point I'm trying to make. And I guess I'm specifically talking to beginners. I'm sure people more advanced wouldn't have trouble with this, but that's the point. They're more advanced, so of course they wouldn't have trouble with this, right? But let's see. Okay, see, because like all that talking, while I was doing all that talking, I was still building the skill. I was trying to hold this projection while doing all that talking, but it was very difficult. Now I'm gonna employ a little bit of silence here. Maybe, who knows? Maybe I think maybe sometimes talking does help. Now, but yeah, the biggest thing is like having that perfect sphere. That perfect sphere, and then the box surrounding it is what seems to really make the biggest difference. But let's see. Okay. Yeah, perfect sphere. And this, what I'm drawing right now, I don't know what my voice sounds like, but what I'm drawing right now is oh yeah, I remember the good old days. Oh. Anyways, what I was drawing, what I'm drawing right now is basically like this line is following this plane, right? Now I'm about to do a diagonal, right? And that is following this, right? But I don't even think that's that accurate. Yeah, this is a bit off because look, if I do this, you can see that as per the perspective, it's slightly off. Actually, is it? Fuck, maybe I'm just better than I thought. I'm pretty sure it's off. I have an intuitive feeling based on my calculations that I've been doing that it is off. But the main thing now is like really just to hold the sphere, right? Like to genuinely just hold the sphere. And it is incredibly difficult. I want to be very clear, bars, bars, bars. But I want to be very clear that it's genuinely fucking hard as shit to hold a perspective. And like the thing is, while I'm doing this, the main thing I need to do is to ensure that the is to ensure that the sphere is actually like because I think this is one of the main things I'm realizing, and you'll hear me say that a lot, right? Like I'm realizing this, I'm realizing that, I'm realizing this, and a lot of the times there'll be regurgitations of what I've already quote unquote realized, right? Because it's again the mental capacity to think while holding 3 layers of projection is fucking insanely difficult, right? But yeah, one of the things I'm I guess consistently realizing is like yes, holding that sphere in my mind is not probably most definitely the most important thing, because then I can think about the placement, right? And when you can think about the placement, a lot of that mental I guess effort is being directed towards holding something consistently, right? Like when I can consistently make sure that my sphere is just located here, then my mental effort can go towards the placement of like, and okay, I know it's here, I know it's here, I know I got the perspective, I know it's here, right? But I completely lost the box, by the way. So I have to bring it back and then think again. It's like, okay, how is this going to make sense? I had something else in mind for what I was going to do here, but I feel as if I may have to move the sphere back a little bit, just a little bit, just to make what I'm doing here make sense. And again, like this isn't even what I had planned. Like what I'm drawing right now is not what I planned at all, right? But I don't have the ability to plan right now. That's just a fact. Like it's just an absolute fact that I don't have the ability to plan right now. And that's fine. Like that's just how it is, right? This was actually going to be something different, but I feel as if I fucked it up. Let's see if that's something there. Yeah, I did fuck it up because I shouldn't have put this line down. I'm trying to think. Good thing like what I did here actually ended up kind of being in the perspective that I needed it to be in. I know I'm kind of going basic again with the sphere, but no, I like the cylinder because I always do that, right? It's basic as fuck. The cylinder connection. Who would have thought? What a genius idea. When in doubt, just draw a goddamn cylinder. But I've lost the perspective multiple times, but I'm really just trying to keep that sphere. The main thing is that I like keep the perfect sphere in there, you know, and obviously have it against the box, but just keep trying to have that, because these fuck with it, right? Like this, what I've drawn here completely fucks with me trying to think about the box and trying to make sure the sphere is aligned with the edges, right? Like it's aligned with this edge and it's aligned with this edge, right? Because it's hard to think about those edges, even though this actually isn't even that good of an example. This actually might be too wide, right? Yeah, it might be too wide. But either way, the point I'm trying to make is everything that's already being drawn on top of this is completely fucking with my perception, like absolutely destroying it, right? Which is why I have to push even deeper and I have to think even harder, right? And all while trying to be like, am I designing something that's good? Who fucking knows? Who knows? The answer is most likely not, right? The answer is genuinely, yeah, you're most likely not going to design anything worthwhile because you're spending vast majority of your cognitive effort fucking talking while explaining, while visualizing, while designing, while thinking, while explaining, while like just like insane loop of these extremely difficult skills. And they are skills. Okay? So that's another thing, right? Like they're skills. If you want to jerk off over talent, like this is not the channel for you. If you want to bitch and moan about how you're not talented, this is not the channel for you, right? Like none of that serves you in any which way. And I just don't promote that type of language on this channel or just in life, right? That person's better than me. Oh, good for you. Now cry about it for the next 50 years and just lament the fact that you're not that person. Let's see how far that gets you, right? You can be aware of people's strengths and weaknesses, but to let it define your own experiences is absolute fucking retardation. And to be honest, just something that can be worked on. Right? It's all mindset. It's literally all mindset. Why does everybody who get decent at anything say, it's all mindset? Why does everybody, like there has to be something to it, right? If everyone who's ever been decent at anything or got decent at anything, if every single one of them are like, hey guys, you know, mindset's pretty important. Like it really helped me. And by the way, while I'm fucking going on this goddamn conversation tangent, I have completely lost the perspective. So that's on me. That's on me. I don't know why I said it like that, but that's on me. That's on me. But there has to be something to it. There has to be. But anyways, let me try to get that. Okay, you know what? I think I got it a little bit back. So, yeah, there has to be something to it, right? We can't all... I'm not even successful, so not we, but they can't all just be talking out of their ass. You know, there has to be a little bit, just a tiny element, right? Just a smidgen of truth to it, right? And, okay, let me get that sphere back. This isn't bad. Definitely isn't bad. Because if I do this, okay, if I were to extend this outward, and I got the sphere, well, the biggest thing is like, okay, so maybe, yeah, because that's the box, right? So I need to think, let's see, this is my sphere. You know, I'm still trying to keep that in mind, by the way, as much as it probably seems like I'm not doing anything, but that line was pretty mid, but that's how it is. Let's see. You don't want too much curve. There you go. That's not bad. That's actually pretty okay. Nothing impressive, but it's fine. Cool. And then now I just need to think what I want this to be, but before I do that, maybe I can draw something here. Right? Because I'm really fucking trying to see that box. Like I'm genuinely, and the sphere, oh my god, and the center lines, like I'm fucking trying so hard. And the beautiful thing is my trying probably looks like jack shit to you. That's the beautiful part about it, is right? Is like you cannot see how much I'm trying. And this isn't to be like, look at me, I'm trying, you should feel for me. And it's like, no, it's like the point I'm trying to make is you're not able to see the effort, right? And you know, people, we generally focus on what we can see, right? But you don't see that I'm literally, you don't see that I'm grinding my brain to, in proportion to this, trying to hold these 3 layers of perspective projected onto the page while also trying to design something that has some semblance of like, oh yes, you know, the ratios are nice, they're spaced out evenly, we have repetition, right, in certain amounts, and things are relatively connected, and maybe there's some sort of function. You don't see any of that. Right? You just hear me shooting the shit while I make moaning noises about how difficult this is. So you'll have to go through it to understand. You know, like it's just, that's kind of the requirement to becoming good, is you have to, and that's why consistency is so hard to see. And that's why I'm also doing this channel. It's like none of you, or many beginners, won't realize what consistency actually means. Right? What effort actually means, what it looks like, what the difficulty of me fucking trying to create something decent while fucking talking and struggling and genuinely just grinding my brain and being like, okay, look, you're having a conversation topic right now, you're speaking, but you completely lost the perspective of the sphere, right? How do you know this is going to connect properly now? You got to make sure you take your time and you come back and you actually really focus on this making sense, right? Don't forget to keep the perspective in order, right? You don't see that, you just hear me say it. And therefore, it's hard to conceptualize, which is why I will consistently keep repeating it until it is finally drilled in your head that the only thing holding me back is work. And I am capable of that work. Right? I mean, despite all the shit I speak, to be honest, I hope the message of what I say, like the core message of what I say, is, oh, he believes something. It's inspiring. Ugh, I'm gonna cry. Right? I hope you fucking cry like a bitch. Because, it's so motivating. The hashtag Viggy motivation. But even now, like, I don't know what the fuck is this shit. This is so stupid. See, like, I tried, I failed, and it's off center, which is even more annoying. God damn it. Oh, no, wait, I am growth mindset. God damn it, wonderful, yes. Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. You see, all of that fucking effort, and it's been half an hour, and this is all I've accomplished, right? But constantly trying to grind my brain and make things make sense, constantly. But yeah, let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like I have such an intense confidence about the fact that the work I'm doing, not just the work, because I know this will work, right? But the fact that I'm sharing this, I'm just so confident. And maybe it's delusional, but sometimes you need a level of delusion to have your confidence be accepted, right? But I'm just so fucking confident that this will get recognized. You know what I mean? In terms of the work that is being done and like what I'm hoping to do, which is to inspire. I'm just so confident for some reason. I don't know where it comes from. TBH fam, right? But let's do something like this. And see, okay, so I already fucked this up. This is actually incorrect perspective. But what I'm trying to say is like, I really want this channel to take off more than anything because I want it to be overwhelming proof that anybody can draw. Like overwhelming, like that nobody can deny. You know what I mean? That the day if somebody says some shit like, I can't draw, or I'm not talented enough, or, like what are the fundamentals, or anything that is just the bullshit that I've been hearing, right? And this was a mistake. I didn't even mean to put it in that angle, this cutout. I just want, and these are all dreams, and that's why I'm working my dreams to be not memes and to be realities. But that's what I want. That's like the main thing, because I'm very passionate about proving that anybody can draw. Thereby, I put all my work towards proving I can draw. Because if I can prove I can draw, then I can prove you can draw. Because I'm fucking nobody, right? Like I'm just some random dickhead on the internet, right? So we'll leave this. Hold up, I need to get my sphere back because I completely lost it. So we'll do something like this. We'll have this wrap around. Right, and I do like doing something like this, whether it has merit or not. And then we'll do something like this. Right, and this is my box, so let's be really careful. I'm not fucking up the perspective of my box. Oh, see, I did fuck up the perspective. I should have been much wider like that, and then like this. But this is kind of like an experiment of sorts. Right, let's see. I don't know what I really want to do with that, to be honest, but let's just keep trying to, get the shapes as accurate as we can. See my line work, this is where it really goes to shit. But this is like the end part where I really need to hold everything. Like I genuinely need to just hold everything that I've been working on in my mind as hard as possible. And then, okay, see, like, what, okay, see, this is the part where it's like, how does this connect? What is happening here? It's hurting my brain a lot, right? It's really hurting my brain quite a bit. Quite a fucking bit. This is actually inaccurate. This is way too much of a curve. I see that now with the sphere. I keep redefining and redefining and redefining in my mind, right? But let's see, maybe this will, and you see how I said maybe this, right? It's all just maybes, and that line was really bad, but it's okay. And maybe do I want something here? No, you know what? We'll just do something like this. Some sort of really pathetic connection that doesn't really make much sense, but there you go. Something like that. Oh, it's connected. Woohoo. And maybe this will just see, how does this connect? Do I just want to do, it goes along, there you go, it just goes along the sphere, it seems. Very difficult to figure out, but let's see. And then, is this the end of my sphere? I didn't intend for this to be the end of my sphere, but has it become the end of my sphere? Yes, because if I do something like this, see, like I struggle so much just to see what that end will look like. See, and then this is going too drastic, so we need to go slowly. We need to go slowly. Okay, it seems like this is the end of my sphere, which I didn't account for, by the way. I'll be very, and look, like that's actually a bit too further out. Oh, so fucking good, man. This is why I love fucking drawing. It's so goddamn difficult to hold all this spatial reasoning in mind and to not fuck it up. There you go. But on the other side, I also have this thing, right? But do I see it? Let's see, if this is jutting out like that, then that's jutting out like this. Nope, we don't see it. We don't see it on the other side at all, actually. But, and you see again, like the more I design this thing, the more difficult it is to hold this shape in my mind, right? And that is the never-ending, that is literally the never-ending journey of excellence. It's just trying to constantly figure shit out while you don't even know if you're doing it right, and feeling like you're a fucking idiot. But you have two options, right? I always say that. You have two options. Come on. The true Viggy famers know what the two options are. We can either have the positive or the negative. In this case, the positive is, well, I'm going to keep going and I will figure it out. Or I'm going to stop. I'm going to give up and I won't figure it out. There's a third one as well, which is I'll just cry about it the entire time, which is what most people do while I try to figure it out. And you're basically saying, I will put my hands in, I will put my mentality and my mindset in the hands of something that is outside of my control. That's what you're saying, right? This is again something I've been, look at that, it doesn't really make any sense. See, because how does this figure it out? Doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense, but maybe that means I can just do something like this. Right, and then that's just attached like so. Kind of makes sense, but not really. These designs are really random. TBH famo. But now, I'm really trying to hold that sphere in mind. This is so fucking hard, bro. And again, I struggle with placement, right? Because look, I didn't mean for this to get as large or high up as it did. Yeah, this, I love this. This whole like putting hard surface or just simple shapes on top of A sphere? This is a lifetime endeavor. This actually makes me so happy. This is so difficult. And again, try to think about it from the other side. It is just also incredibly difficult. Because that makes sense, actually. This is really subtle. Right? It's like around here. Wait, no, hold up. See, I fucked up the perspective. This is actually incorrect, but just have to deal with it. What did I do here? What the fuck? Did I fuck this up? What the fuck was this supposed to be? Yeah, I did fuck that up. Okay, let's just... Yeah, let's just do something like this. Completely lost the perspective. The plot is gone! The plot is gone. But that doesn't mean we're gonna stop trying, right? Even though this was actually a pretty bad design decision, what I just did right here. But the thing is, I recognize that now, like, things are a bit too close together. Now, this is just... Like, look, there's no space, right? There's no negative space, right? So... That's a mistake. You know, this just doesn't make sense. So you know what? Because the plot is gone and because I messed it up, there's only one thing left to do. Just close off the sphere and start anew. Right, so this is the most important part, is like, can I retain the sphere and the box while I attempt to close this off? What is the answer? Like, can I? You know, can I? It's already kind of going to shit, and I don't think I can. I don't think I have managed. Yeah, see? It's completely off. Completely off, because that's not what it looks like on this side. It's not wrapping around properly. So this is also off-center, as you can see now, right? Like, it's pretty off-center. I didn't expand this wide enough. Oh, man, I love this. So many fucking beautiful mistakes. Okay, well, we made the mistakes. I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're gonna try again. Right? And yes, there is an argument to be had. Like, well, you're trying to make it too complex, right? Well, I'm trying to find that balance myself. It's like, what is the simplicity? What is the complexity, right? But these are beautiful, beautiful failures. You know, like, how do we balance it? Yeah, like the complexity, simplicity, while also ensuring that I can see the sphere. Do I want to kind of use crutches by outlining the sphere already in some particular manner, whether it's the outline or like the guidelines, or do I want to brute force it and just be like, take the L in the short term, but in the long term, like, really fucking focus on seeing it at all times? Who knows? I have to keep trying. But I mean, the effort and continuing to try to figure it out are really the only things that matter at the end of the day. So I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. Oh god, I have to burp. Ooh, it sounded disgusting. I hope it really, I hope it fucking violated your ears. Anyway, let me rest. Oh man, I love art. Like, when you consistently reframe your mind that the joy isn't just the struggle and just really trying. And it's not as if I'm perfect, and I'm not like someone who's like, oh, I'm like this all the time, I'm jerking off everywhere, it's so hard. But it's just when you reframe your mind and you give yourself that opportunity to consistently reframe your mind, it honestly just opens up a whole side of you that you didn't even know, which is the side that likes to learn. Some kids, some people when they grew up had this naturally because they were encouraged, or they had a predisposition to just enjoy learning. But I think everybody does have a predisposition to enjoy learning. But we also have things that we're naturally, quote unquote, talented, i.e. interested, and stick around with, right? And yes, some of us will have better eyesight, and in terms of like, oh, this kid grew up and they can see values fucking, I don't know, 20% better. This kid grew up and they can see values and they have better line work and 20% better, 30% better. But it's like, okay, those are just starting stats, right? The rate of progression comes down to interest, focus, how you expend your effort, right? Again, like, there's nothing special about me, but I can draw something like this, or, you know, something like this, and it's like, oh wow, okay, only 3 years and 4 months is, and I think this is very honestly underwhelming for 3 years and 4 months. But that's also because my standards are really high, and I also have to keep reminding myself that, well, as long as you keep trying, that's all that matters, right? But the point I'm trying to make is I think everybody can love learning. There's no point I'm trying to make. I'm always fucking rambling, but I think everybody has it in them to love learning, and I think everybody has it in them to learn how to love learning, right? But we basically have to unfuck so much of what has been sort of raised or imposed upon us through the school system. Don't ever forget that the school system is literally the remnants of raising factory workers, right? Like it's literally a fucking system that's dated hundreds of a couple hundred years or so, right? Maybe even less. And its sole purpose is to raise drones, to memorize, to rote memorize, and to understand. Yes, the context of what it's being applied for has updated, but the foundation of what it operates on hasn't. Right? At least that's my understanding. It could be wrong, but... And again, while I'm doing this, I'm fucking looking at the portrait, trying to calculate the box, the sphere, the center lines, and it's very difficult because I'm actually I'm invested in this topic now. Fuck the school system, yeah, let's go! But... let's see. Okay, and then we got the perfect sphere. It's really hard to see that perfect sphere, but I just have to keep trying to see it in my mind, right? Because it has to be calculated. As the wise Shemus once said, calculated. I wonder how many people will understand that reference. Probably very few. You fuckers didn't grow up on the creatures, I assume. Right? The first content house creators. The first, basically, the fucking, like, game. It's funny how gaming YouTube was what created the boom for YouTube in a lot of ways. And yet, oh, see, that was inaccurate. That was very inaccurate. Yeah, that was super off. It's supposed to be more like this. But, and people aren't even aware of these. And again, it makes sense. I'm probably not aware of a lot of people who laid the foundation for specific things, but hey, it was cool to be involved in at least one of them for the first time in my life as a teenager. But that's completely aside. Yeah, SSOHPKC, search them up. Classic YouTuber, search up the creatures. You're gonna get a lot of mislabeled information. It's kind of like you won't really know the context until you went through it. But anyways, tale as old as time. Fucking people don't know how to handle their business, don't know how to have fun, and all that shit. But oof, this is very difficult to think about. What was I saying? What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, anyways, I think everybody can love learning, right? And the thing is, like, I'm honestly, I have a fucking rage boner against the education system because I was reading this book, it's like How Our Brains Learn, right? I was just at Indigo with my girlfriend a couple months ago, and I was like, oh, this book is right up my alley. I just already love the title, right? And there's a section that talks about how mistakes, what a fucking surprise, everything I've been saying, because it's something I've learned as well, is that mistakes are the foundation of growth, right? And attaching dopamine to mistakes improves our growth rate, right? And mistakes is literally like how our brain understands what type of synapses to strengthen, where to allocate resources, and what the knowledge gap and the repetition gap and the ignorance, the deficit that you have in terms of applicability exists, and it constantly tries to strengthen it, like it's doing right now. Because my deficit is not being able to fucking focus while I'm talking, right? So I'm like constantly building the skill of focusing while I'm talking, specifically focusing on keeping 3 layers of perspective being projected onto the goddamn page and in my mind, calculating while talking, right? So that is extremely difficult. My brain has been doing this for months now, constantly trying to figure out, okay, like he keeps expending energy. And it doesn't understand the concept. He keeps expending energy. Like, it doesn't get that. But what it does get is effort is being expended towards this thing, and we are subpar. Like, we don't have the right, we don't have the right connections to make this effort not subpar, right? Like, we're gonna try and make it easier and easier and easier and easier and more efficient, which is the main thing. Like, more efficient for that when this effort is expended, it is utilized effectively, right? Same synapses, strengthened accordingly. But yeah, I have a fucking rage boner against the education system because teachers are part of the problem. And I'm not saying every teacher is bad. Like, my sister was a teacher at a private school for 3 years, and she's very passionate, right? But she's even said, like, a lot of, and again, kids these days are fucked with their attention anyways, but there's like a million different things to talk about. But my whole concept or my whole belief of the education system is I always found it weird, right? So many teachers always, they fucking jizz. They jerk off over the smart kids. They're like, oh, they're so smart, they're so bright. What about the kids who take twice as long to understand, but have the same amount of potential, and if given the opportunity, would also be able to be quote unquote just as smart, right? What about it's just, I don't know. this is just my experience too, so I can't speak for everyone. I'm sure many of you have anecdotes who are like, actually, I had a great education system experience. Actually, my teachers were very kind. Oh, actually, I never, like, what are you talking about? This never happened, right? I'm sure. I'm not gonna speak on every goddamn possible experience that could occur and has occurred. I'm just saying that even as a kid, it made no sense how we were just told to memorize things. Like we just had to memorize, and nobody was given the opportunity to try again. Really, trying again failing was looked at as a bad thing. Trying again was looked at as a bad thing, right? If you didn't get it the first time, like at least for me, it was like if you don't get it the first time, you're a fucking idiot. I've just been growing up like raised like that, and I feel as if that message has been constantly permeated throughout society in general. Oh man, that's so off. But yeah, it's like if you don't get it the first time, give the fuck up. And so many artists have that mentality. I don't blame you in the sense that if that's the mentality you've been raised with and that's what you've been constantly reinforced with, yes, of course it's going to be difficult to get out of it. But I got out of it. I am no different than you. I spent 8 months. The first 8 months of drawing was fucking anxiety, putting down a goddamn line with a pen that was 10 times easier than this to use. It was a fucking thick ass fine liner, right? But just the idea of permanence and the idea of just of mistakes that I just expected to occur crippled me, goddammit. It fucking mentally was like a goddamn, if you want to make it sound, I guess, more intense. Like it was a war, it was a battle in my mind. Oh my god, it was a battle. But genuinely, I understand the fear. I understand it. Right? Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain and then I'll go back to empathizing with you. So you wanna like, subscribe, and give me all your attention. And fuck, this box is too small, so we're gonna have to make the sphere a lot bigger here. I think this one I'll make a lot simpler. You can see, like, this is so ass. I spent so much time on it, but it just went to shit because the longer I kept doing it, the more fatigued my brain got, trying to hold everything and trying to design and do all of these things at once. Right? Yesterday maybe it was a bit more efficient, or maybe my approach was a bit more efficient. Efficient. Same with this, right? So it's literally just constantly just fucking up and trying. And see, yeah, my spacing needs work. I should have moved this over. I couldn't visualize the box properly. But anyways, let me rest my brain. I gotta have to burp again. The burp's always coming for me. Ooh, that was a good one. That was nice and gallant. But yeah, I mean, that's why I keep saying focus on the effort. You can do it, because I had to literally unfuck years, basically decades, at least like a decade and a half, 2 decades. Yeah, because I started at 25. Yeah, basically like two decades of just constantly being told I was talented when I was a kid, and then feeling, like, it makes such a huge difference when you tell a child you're talented versus you're hardworking and you're perceptive, right? And you don't give up. Like, dude, it's been proven over and over that kids who believe that their natural ability is the reason for their success don't actually build a strong work ethic, or at least not as strong as they could, right? People in general, right? Like, work ethic is derived from the belief that work ethic means something. Like, I'm doing this because I have reinforced to myself consistently that my work ethic has meant something, that trying and continually trying and trying to fail and all that shit is valuable, right? But that's why I keep saying, like, focus on the effort. Like, this is how you employ growth mindset. It's purely focusing on the effort, right? Because I can easily look at all these drawings I've been doing and be like, bro, this is shit. That's because, again, there are so many things wrong with every single thing I've been doing. But again, that's because my standards and my understanding of what I want to achieve within the quality of these few things that I'm able to control, I understand what I want that to be. But it's just like, it's like little reframes can completely change how you approach or even enjoy or don't enjoy a process, right? It's then the biggest part is mistakes. Like, mistakes are genuinely learning lessons. And I think school in general fucks that concept up, because it's like you're given a grade. Oh yeah, that book was basically saying you're given a grade, you're told this is how good you are, this is how bad you are, and then before you even get the opportunity, like literally before you even get the opportunity to rectify, to work, and to understand those mistakes, right? And this is for the kids who are a bit behind or have to catch up, and everybody has something, I'm gonna assume, has like at least maybe one thing that they're never that proficient at, right? The kids who are proficient are usually hardworking, and those who aren't, or like who are proficient and they aren't hardworking, or get a fucking reality check at one point or another, right? And before somebody said like, well, there are some people who are just fucking smart and they don't work hard and they just coast through it, good for them. We're not them, right? So we have the opportunity to build the value of work ethic. Stop fucking bitching and moaning about what you can and can't control, and understand that work ethic is valuable. Personal development, self-growth is all valuable, right? Right now, I'm not building the skills of spatial reasoning. I'm building a mind that can exert extraneous amounts of effort to build a difficult skill that just happens to be spatial reasoning, and do that consistently with no reward for years and years on end until it does reward me through effort, right? Like, there's no wasted effort. Not when you're trying, because you're still trying to figure it out. And I will prove it. I will 100% prove it, right? This channel may not even ever take off. Doesn't matter. The few who listen and the few who stick around for the decades to come will be aware of what I'm trying to say, right? Which is, you don't have to be special to be great. You don't have to be special to be excellent. You just have to persist, right? And also, you know, Patreon, Ko-fi, link in description, guys. But actually, oh yeah, fuck, I forgot to show the Discord. Well, if you're here at this point, maybe that 1-2 people, I have an official Discord now. Fan gave it to me, which is really cool. So that's link in description. Join, talk, share art, right? Discuss things. I'll try to talk here and there. If you have questions for me, go ahead. I feel as if I answer most questions just by constantly explaining the fuck out of everything I'm doing. But who knows? Maybe I don't answer as many questions as you would like. Right? So for this one, I'm gonna try to keep it really simple. I already fucked it up, actually. This is so bad. But this one I will try to keep relatively simple because I want to reinforce. Yeah, well, I already fucked it up. Yeah, see, it's an amazing thing. Like, that line was so off because now it's way more of a top-down perspective. But I will still try to keep the angle consistent. And let's see. And we'll do something like this. At least we'll set the basis for this sphere, right? It's so hard. I'm telling you, like, it's incredibly fucking difficult to hold all this shit in my mind. And yet I will continue. And I'll just keep continuing. Like, I'll just keep continuing. Until one day, you know, I'll have a different thing to continue on. You know, kind of simple as that, right? Keep trying, and then you'll find a different thing to try on. And then keep trying with that thing, and then you have a different thing to try on. And then while I'm talking, I lost the perspective completely, so I have to refocus, and I'll have a different thing to try on, right? This is, again, really off perspective-wise. I want to be very clear, it's really off. Because you might be like, what the fuck, how's he drawing this perspective? The answer is, I'm not really drawing this perspective. I've already made many mistakes, and that's kind of just where I'm at right now. Right? Well, that doesn't mean I can't keep trying. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think I've said anything of importance, probably, but yeah, like, this is completely different. But I can still try to maintain the general perspective, right? And we'll do something like this. Because, again, like, I have to think about that sphere, right? So it has to be something like... No, wait. See, look. So let's see. It's like this. Yes, I had a feeling. So it'd be something like that. So we will, of course, connect these and follow that perspective. So at least the connection that's occurring will seem relatively important and consistent. Did fuck it up quite a bit, though, I will say. Like, this is genuinely an astronomical fuck up, and because I made this mistake, I'm worthless and I'm never getting better, right? That's how it works, right? And while I'm doing this, I'm really struggling to hold everything in mind, but I'm really trying. Like, I'm genuinely, oh my god, like, I can't even explain how hard I'm fucking nutting right now. But this is the process. Okay, let's see. Right, and we'll even have something like, because again, like, I want to try to make these shapes try to be interesting. Because the perspective is completely different now, and I'm trying to hold that sphere in my mind while the perspective is different. I know I said I try to make it simple, but I don't know. Like, I do like to push the boundaries of what I consider to be simple as well, right? So, like, what shape here would reinforce to me, you know, maybe something like this. Like, we see this relatively often, I'd like to think, right? In terms of kind of machinery, there's usually these little additions, right? And then maybe there's a, and again, I'm losing the perspective a lot, so I'm really trying to hold it all together. And that was good. Like that right there, that moment where I just tried to hold it together, I feel as if that was a good moment right there, because I managed to get some of it back. That's off perspective, but, and the lines are fucking horrendous. But that's the other thing, right? I've trained my mind to be an asshole and like constantly criticize my art and like use language like this, but actually not feel anything, you know what I mean? Like I actually don't feel as if it's bad at all. That's the main thing. It's like I actually don't feel any particular way in terms of like actual negativity about my art. And that's a skill as well, to to be complete fucking dickhead to yourself, but not be so like actually believe that it's shit. That's a skill. It's all skills. It's all skills. Now, this is not bad. I think I'm maybe creating some sort of Bane mask, right? And then we could do something like this, because let's not forget, it's going this way. It does kind of look like a Bane mask of sorts. And of course, you know, my lines are going to be the biggest determinant of quality, which right now they're kind of eh. But that's why I will work on them, because that's all I can do is work on them, right? And again, while I'm drawing this, I'm really trying to keep the overall perspective in mind, like really trying to keep it in mind. It doesn't matter if it succeeds or fails, because if it succeeds, cool, I know what to do, or I know how to keep my mind in that state. If it fails, then it's like, cool, I know what to do to keep my mind in that state, which is not do what I just did. So either way, but you can see I've calmed down a lot when I really have to think. But this is actually not that bad. I feel as if I'm actually practicing, or quote unquote breaking new grounds when it comes to how I go about the perspective. But yeah, like I definitely, like this completely fucked up the original perspective, like absolutely demolished what could be done. And why don't we just hold up, that was a mistake. So we have to, yeah, that was a huge mistake. So fuck it, we'll just have to kind of cut it short like that. And then this is just a little curved. And this one's coming all the way, it's coming all the way. And I think this shape I'll have be more thin, because I don't know if that's gonna look good, but just, this is like a what if, right? What if I made this a cutout that's a bit more thin? Will that make it look better? And again, I completely lost the perspective, so I'm trying to take it back right now while keeping things at least a little bit consistent. This is why it's beautiful, because you can see my lines are really fucking shit, right? Like really shit. But then maybe there's a little attachment, who fucking knows? Very little cylindrical attachment right there. Okay, so this is where my brain is like, okay, you're losing it. Like right now, this is where I have the habit of getting lazy. Right now. Right now, I've already expended a lot of mental energy, so I'm gonna rest my brain. This is obviously gonna be a bit of a longer video. A lot of my videos when it comes to this now have been an hour and 15 minutes-ish, but we're not gonna let this, I'm gonna do my best to not let this become a disaster at the second half of it. So I'm gonna rest my brain, and I'm gonna recalibrate, right? And just be like, okay, like how can I keep going? How can I make sure this still all makes sense? So yeah, I'll be right back. And the reason I mentioned that I don't think what I do is anything particularly impressive is because yes, of course, the artists I compare myself to have a lot more experience, but the thing is, like, they're able to do it, so chill. So it's like, it's kind of like this is the beginner mindset or like the incorrect learner's mindset. It's like, then I should be able to do it too, right? Except I've trained myself to not be like, I should be able to do it too. It's like, okay, that's just a standard to strive for, which means, yeah, at one point, I should be able to do it too. So right now, it's not that impressive, and it doesn't need to be that impressive either, right? But yes, I should at one point be able to do it too. Therefore, it is nothing impressive. And yeah, before like I even draw anything, let me get the calibration of this correct. There you go. Something like that. Right. And this is coming down like so. There you go. It's coming down like this. There you go. So that obviously, it's not bad actually. We'll just close it off there. It's not perfect, but. And then this is, let's see, we'll move, fucked up the line. But we'll, see, I fucked up everything, god damn it. But we'll do something like this. That's not that good, because I fucked up this line. But again, I lost the perspective quite spectacularly here. There you go. And well, this is where white space I think is going to make a huge difference, because if I just keep these clean, right? If we just don't add anything here, I feel, and this is where he's beginning to learn, right? This is where I feel as if it's actually going to make a pretty drastic difference in the, oh, motherfucker. The design. Look at that. We actually managed to. Yeah, it feels like that makes a pretty big difference. Just like keeping that space free, right? I could do something like this to maybe add. Bro, I love how my lines are so shit right now. Holy shit. But yeah, like just keep that space free, right? Then it's like, okay. But even then, I see a huge problem with keeping this centered, because you see, like when I start drawing this sphere now, everything is yeah, everything is just wrong in terms of the fact that like it's not centered, right? So this sphere is like much larger, but then things are just, this is just placed way more on this side. And what I should have done is expanded this outward. So now I need to keep in mind, like, okay, well, however wide you're making this, you need to make it wider, because I'm accounting for a sphere that's this big, but I'm not accounting for width of the element placed on top of it that accompanies that, right? Because now if I were to do it, then it's like, okay, that makes sense. But either way, let's just close this off because we already made the mistake. That's not bad. The sphere is pretty okay, but I hope you can see, like, yeah, what I'm talking about here, which is the fact that I need to obviously reason and account for it. And you can see, like, this perspective is completely off. But I did keep this, right? We actually did keep that pretty decently, like this plane, but it's obviously tilted downward. But I love this. There's always so much to learn. I fucking love this. But yeah, you can see there's a lot I fucked up, because even on the other side there's supposed to be this coming out, but we're gonna leave it like that because it's basically just a giant mistake, right? And I've obviously like just I've not made too much sense of it. There you go. Like an interesting design, I guess. He says while he just draws random circles. But okay, cool. Let's And I love this. I'll be back in like half an hour-ish. Gonna keep trying to grind my brain. Probably, you know, again, always, oh, I forgot to finish this off. There you go. Forgot to finish that off. Looks okay. I'm slowly starting to understand that things can connect, perhaps one way or another. But that's obviously much better. And you can see that because look, I made these wide, right? Like this I made wide, but then I didn't account for the size of the sphere. This I made too thin, I didn't account for the size of the sphere. So there's like, if I'm gonna tell myself that this is basically closer to the end, I gotta think about that when it comes to the actual design itself. And I think, honestly, and I'll say this multiple times, but hopefully I actually stick to it, is I need to design the front first and then have a wraparound, to be honest. Like that, just that wraparound is more important because then I'll be able to start establishing how the size of the sphere more consistently, hopefully. I don't know, we'll have to figure it out. I'll have to think about a way, but I'll try that approach next session, which will be in like half an hour. But yeah, either way, I hope you fucking tried a lot. I hope you put a lot of effort in. That was really fun, that was really good. That was really difficult, holy shit. So, as always, right, fuck you for watching, keep drawing, and please, give me money.